All right, let's talk about something incredible. You know those common medications so many people take? Well, today we're going to break down how they actually work. And the secret is, they're just tuning your body's own internal control system. It's like we all have this amazing little pharmacy inside of us. Okay, so to really get this, think about your body's autopilot, the stuff you don't even think about doing. It works kind of like a car. You've got a gas pedal, right? That's your fight or flight system. But you also have a brake pedal for when it's time to rest and digest. And these two, they're constantly, and I mean constantly, working together to keep you running smoothly, perfectly in balance. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the autopilot system itself, then jump into that fight or flight response and how blocker drugs work with it. Then we'll hit the brakes, look at the rest and digest system, and see how agonist drugs play their part. Finally, we'll put it all together. Sound good? Let's go. All right, first things first, let's meet the master controller, the autonomic nervous system, or the ANS. This is the amazing behind-the-scenes network that's running the show, handling literally everything you don't have to think about, like your heartbeat or even just breathing. You know, the main job of this whole system is just one thing: keeping you in balance. The fancy word for it is homeostasis. And it does this using those two competing teams we talked about, the one that revs you up and the one that calms you down. It's this constant push and pull that lets your body jump into action when you need it, but also, just as importantly, lets you rest and recover. Okay, time to hit the gas. Let's talk about that fight or flight response. This is all thanks to your sympathetic system, the part of you that's built for action. So how does the body get the message to, go? It uses a chemical messenger called norepinephrine. You can pretty much think of it as the signal that screams action stations to all the important parts of your body. And its journey is actually pretty straightforward. It's a simple three-step dance. Step 1, the nerve releases it. Step 2, it finds and docks onto a special receiving station called a receptor on an organ. And boom, step 3, an action happens. Your heart starts beating faster, for example. Release, dock, action. Simple as that. Okay, now this is where it gets really cool. Check this out. The same exact messenger, norepinephrine, can do totally different things depending on where it lands. It's like having one key that opens different doors to different rooms. So if it docks with an alpha receptor on your blood vessels, they squeeze tight. But if that same messenger docks with a beta-1 receptor on your heart beats faster and harder. And then get this, if it hits a beta-2 receptor in your lungs, it actually tells your airways to relax and open up. How amazing is that? It's all about location, location, location.
So what happens if that gas pedal gets stuck to the floor? Like in chronic high blood pressure. Well, that's where medicine comes in with a clever solution: blocker drugs. The technical term is adrenergic antagonists.
And how these blockers work is it's genius, really. Imagine you have a key that fits a lock perfectly, but when you put it in, it just stays there. It doesn't turn. It just gums up the works, right? That's what a blocker does. It slides into that docking station and just sits there, physically stopping the real key, norepinephrine, from getting in and turning the engine on.
And by doing this, by blocking these specific receptors, the drugs create the exact opposite effect of fight or flight. So if you block those alpha receptors, the blood vessels can't constrict, and guess what? Your blood pressure goes down. Or if you block the beta receptors on the heart, it can't go into overdrive and your heart calms right down. It's so targeted.
And this is why this all matters so much. This simple, elegant idea of blocking a receptor is exactly why beta blockers are such a cornerstone of medicine. They are incredibly effective for treating really common, really serious things like high blood pressure, chest pain from angina, and even helping to manage heart failure. All right, enough with the gas pedal. Let's ease onto the brakes for a bit. It's time to meet the other half of this duo, the rest and digest system that helps your body chill out, repair, and recharge. Now, the messenger for this side of the operation is a molecule called acetylcholine. Think of it as the manager of the body's housekeeping staff. When you're not running from a tiger, it's acetylcholine's job to make sure all the background maintenance gets done. And if you look at what it does, you'll see it's pretty much the polar opposite of fight or flight. It slows your heart rate down, it makes your airways a bit narrower because you don't need all that oxygen when you're relaxing, and it cranks up your digestive system. It's all about those essential restorative jobs. Okay, so we've talked about blockers that jam the gas pedal. But what if the problem is that your brake pedal isn't being pressed hard enough? Well, for that, we have a different kind of drug. We call them agonists. An agonist is basically the anti-blocker. Instead of jamming the lock, it's more like a master key. It can mimic the body's natural key, acetylcholine, and turn the lock itself,
Or, and this is also really clever, it can act like a bodyguard for the real key, stopping it from being broken down so it can stick around and do its job for longer. So you've basically got two ways to boost the signal. You have direct agonists. These are the mimics. They go right to the receptor and turn it on. Then you have indirect agonists. These guys are a bit more strategic. They go after the cleanup crew, the enzyme that gets rid of acetylcholine, and take them out. The result? More of your body's own natural messenger is left in the system to work its magic.
And that really gets to the heart of it all. It's two different tools for two different problems. Blockers are for when a system is too active and you need to dial it down, like calming a racing heart. Agonists, or stimulators, are for when a system is underactive and you need to crank it up a notch, like getting a sluggish bladder to work. See? It's all about bringing things back to that sweet spot, back to balance. Okay, let's just zoom out for a second and appreciate the big picture here, because this is so much bigger than just a discussion about pills. This is about the absolutely elegant and intricate pharmacy that we all have running inside of us 24/7. And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that these drugs aren't some kind of magic. They're precision tools. They are so logically and beautifully designed to just nudge our body's own amazing system back into alignment. Their whole job is to help our bodies do what they're already trying to do, find that perfect natural balance. And that leaves us with a pretty deep question to chew on, doesn't it? As we get better and better at fine-tuning our own biology, at turning these dials ourselves, where does healing stop and enhancement begin? That's a huge question we're going to have to face. Thanks for exploring this with me.